What's up, guys? Thank you all so much for tuning in to Groveside Chats. I'm your host, Caleb, here, and I am joined alongside Christian Burgers, my buddy, at Ole Miss Sports _sports memories _. Follow him on Instagram if you followed that. Christian, what's going on, man?
Hey,
Get closer to the mic.
yeah, where am I supposed to
Just talk right here.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to redo that. I wasn't sure.
So what's going on, buddy?
Well, we lost to Bama yesterday.
Yeah, we did. Who expected us to win, though?
Nobody.
Yeah, no one expected us to win. So on today's show, we're going to talk about the Bama recap. We'll discuss some quarterback controversy that may be coming in the near future with the Rebels. We're going to talk about the Vandy game that's upcoming. We'll talk about attendance, what we think the crowd will be like next weekend. And it'll be a night game, so it should be a better crowd than it has been in the past. We'll talk about I actually attended a game yesterday. I was at Roberts Stadium. It was Saturday at the Rock at Southern Miss. I was there for that game. The Golden Eagles took on the El Paso Miners of University of Texas El Paso. We'll give you another scoreboard update from college football games yesterday. We'll talk NFL, some fantasy football, and I'm going to take your questions today. Then to end the show, we'll talk some entertainment, movies, music, and whatnot. What we're listening to, what we've been watching, and movies we will be seeing in the near future. Hope you all are having a great day, and here we go. Christian, you're supposed to sing right there. Like, we need you to sing and make a vocal performance so we can have like a theme song that we don't have to copyright and get sued for
We'll figure
using
that out
during the
later.
production.
Well, I do need to say something.
Go ahead.
Antonio Brown is something else. He's filing like a 9 grievance thing or whatnot.
If we're talking about Browns, though, why don't we talk about A.J. Brown? So today, so far right now in the game, A.J. Brown has 2 big touchdowns for the Tennessee Titans as they're smoking the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons aren't really putting up much of a fight.
Are not very good.
No, they're not very good. Dawson Knox actually had a great catch earlier for the Rebs. But before we'll talk about some of that Antonio Brown controversy too, because I do want to speak on that. But Christian, give me your breakdown. You obviously watched more of the Ole Miss Alabama game than I did. Obviously, I was at Southern Miss, so I watched like 98% of the first half and about like 16% of the second half. Like, I didn't see much of the second half at all. I'll give my takeaway. I was impressed with what I saw from Plumlee. Not that his arm is great. His arm isn't great. He has to work on that accuracy, but I like how he didn't take big hits. He kind of played Russell Wilson ball out there, if I'm being honest. You know, he scrambled around. He didn't take big hits, and he showed that he was faster than Alabama's linebackers. I mean, there were times where he'd get out of the pocket, and they'd race him, towards out of bounds, and he'd have 2 linebackers coming at him, and he'd be patient. He'd let them come towards him, then just boom, speed right around them. And they'd have to rely on the secondary to get to him at times. And I was really impressed with the way he ran with tenacity and how he was able to get away from Bama's defenders. And it's not like he's running away from middle schoolers. I mean, Bama does have 5-star talent all around the field. I thought the defense was bad, but, I didn't expect them to be good. The secondary, you guys like Jalen Jones and Armani Linton, Jalen Julius they are what they are. I like them. They're good guys. But they're not going to be able to cover Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy and Waddle and even Devontae Smith, who came out of nowhere and had 5 touchdowns. My gosh, could you imagine having him on a fantasy football roster? That'd be like 70 points. But, yeah, that's kind of my takeaway. I was glad to see Tisdale come in at the end. I wish he came in earlier.
Yeah.
I think that was a wasted game to have him in for 2 passes. That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the 2 passes he threw were awesome, and he threw one to Mingo, who will be a shining star in the near future. What's your takeaway?
Well,
Good job.
Well, Plumlee, the play calling for Plumlee, I really didn't like how we were just running it like the whole time because I felt like we could have had like more variety for him.
Mm-hmm.
Defense was expected. Secondary was expected.
I would say the run defense was good, though. We did a good job containing Najee Harris.
Yeah, but once Tua got out of the pocket and started scrambling around, we couldn't really defend that well.
Garbers either last week.
But other than that, it wasn't too bad. Scored 31 points, get the number 2 team in the country, which they're number 1 now.
And in the past, 3 years, we had only scored 10.
Yeah.
So I'll take it. I'll take the 31 against them.
But
Especially with a backup quarterback.
Rich Rod could have done better play calling for Plumlee instead of just running it like every play.
Did you see him going nuts in the booth early on in the game? What was that all about?
I have no clue. But it was funny.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he was going ballistic. I had no idea what was going on right there. I mean, it looked like a decent play. He just was, I don't know, something wasn't executed properly. It wasn't a good play. I'm informed it wasn't a good play. My memory is shot right now. I'm still reflecting on what I watched yesterday in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Well, let's continue talking about the Rebels. We do have some stats. You give me some more of your breakdown, and I'm going to get all the stats together.
Well, defense really didn't tackle very well, but, I mean, they got 5-star talent, so really can't do much there.
You can't wrap up and tackle 5-star guys?
I mean, they're just explosive. That's why.
That is true.
That's what I mean by that. But the 2 throws that Tisdale threw at the end of the game, they look pretty good. Jalen, or not Jay, or whatever his name is, who caught that ball from Tisdale, that was good.
Yeah.
I really don't have that much because
well, okay, so I got the stats right here, and to break it down, we'll give you.
I know
we'll give
Plumlee
you
had
a
115.
I'll give you a little taste of how good John Rice Plumlee was yesterday. His passing wasn't there. I mean, it was 10 for 28, so it was at like 36% completion percentage. 141 yards, 2 touchdowns. But he did throw for 2 touchdowns on Bama. That's impressive. 1 interception, that's fine. You give him an interception or 2, you're not going to hold that against him, right? Rushing, though, he led the team rushing with 25 carries, 109 yards, and a touchdown. That's awesome. That's the telltale right there. Because you've seen like guys like Leonard Fournette, Kerryon Johnson, and even the Cam Newtons of the world that would go in there and wouldn't even rush for that many yards. I mean, John Rice Plumlee, I think, is like the only other quarterback other than Kyler Murray to run for over 100 yards and score a touchdown against Alabama's defense under the Nick Saban tenure. Did you know that?
No.
That was awesome. I was reading that statistic yesterday. And that Kyler Murray thing, he's in good company right there. Jonathan Mingo led us in receiving with 3 receptions for 74 yards and a touchdown. That's good. That's great. And it shows Mingo can be a playmaker. Earlier on in the year, he struggled with dropping passes and jumping snaps and not being ready on the quick slants. I think a lot of that had to do with Corral throwing it at his feet. But, you know, to move on, though, I do think that Mingo will be a guy in the future that we will be able to rely on to be that wide receiver 1 who can make the big plays when we need him, right? Like Treadwell was in the past. Like the predecessor who wore number 1. A.J. Brown was. And boy, what a game he's having today. Bama, on the other hand, Tua Tagovailoa was 26 for 36, 418 yards, 6 touchdowns. No defense. Najee Harris, though, 9 carries for 71 yards. That's not bad.
Yeah. Oh, no, we're not that. I'm getting ahead of myself.
That's not bad. And then Smith obviously had 11 receptions, 274 yards, 5 touchdowns.
You really can't do much.
I mean, why would they run the ball? Why would they run the ball once?
If they were picking on Jalen Julius or whatever his name is.
I mean, wouldn't you pick on him
and
too?
Miles Hartsfield. They were just picking on him.
Yeah.
Or both of them, I should say.
Well, they're picking on Jalen Jones a lot too, and I think Jalen Jones after that, God bless him, I love Jalen Jones.
After that ACL,
but I think after that injury, he's having issues with speed. He doesn't have that get up speed.
I feel like he's just kind of.
Come on, I need Mahomes to get me a touchdown, man. My fantasy football is killing me. My other league. We're watching the Kansas City. Go, baby, go. We're watching Kansas City Detroit Lions game where the Lions are actually leading 30-27. Have the Lions been beaten yet? No, the Lions have not been beaten yet this year. The first game they tied with the Cardinals. But I don't mean to get off topic. We're going to keep talking about the game. What do you expect to see? So your takeaway.
I feel like Jalen.
What are your takeaways? We discussed the game. What happened? What do you think about the game? Like, what are your takeaways from the game? Like, I thought that we were good on offense. Go ahead.
I felt like we could have just laid down and quit like we normally do.
Yeah, like we could have done. And no one would have held it against them either.
No, but we showed some fight throughout the whole game. I mean, obviously the game got away from us in the second quarter, but I felt like if it didn't...
Did you like leading at the end of the first quarter, though?
Yeah, that was fun. I felt like if it didn't get away from us in the second quarter, it would have been interesting in the second half, but I felt like in the end it would have been that type of score. As the fourth quarter would have probably rolled along, but overall, I give us I'd say like
C plus.
Yeah, C plus.
C plus performance, especially against Bama. If that was any other team now.
Plus, we didn't have any major injuries.
No,
which was
is
pretty
Ryder
rare.
Anderson okay?
I'm not too sure
Because I know he got hurt early on in the game, but I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be back.
Because normally we had some like just catastrophic injuries on both sides of the ball, but no O-line men got really hurt. No skill player or whatnot. But overall, I think it was C plus.
And we're going to get a third opinion on the game. I got my brother Joner here with us live in our studio at Cups Espresso Cafe on Lakeland Drive in Jackson, Mississippi. If you need any espresso or coffee and your body is just low on fuel, stop by Cups Espresso Cafe. They've got locations all across the Jackson metro area, even a location in Oxford if you live in Oxford. Check them out, get some coffee and espresso. They will fill you up with everything you need. They are not a sponsor of our show.
They are definitely not.
But they really should be, because I spent probably over $2,000 in my lifetime at that place, which is kind of shameful on my end. And I've given them a lot of free advertising. Jonah, come here. Tell us what you think about the game yesterday. Speak kind of loudly.
Oh, well, I saw offense. They looked okay. Like what Berger said over here was the play calling wasn't necessarily the best, which it hasn't been all year, in my opinion. A lot of run plays. Plumlee ran more than he probably should have. We don't want to get the guy hurt, but like same time, he does have the capability and the speed. Obviously.
I don't think running irks him.
No. If you watched any of the game, like he would go straight at the linebackers.
No,
Like,
he don't care, dude.
Care.
Like he
hurdled over.
Yes, he did. I was like, what's going on? I think a lot of that comes and y'all may chastise me for saying this, and I'm thankful that people in Rebel Grove don't listen to this because they'd probably call me an idiot because everybody
they probably call all of us an idiot.
Well, which we are idiots, but still, I really think that a lot of that's Matt Corral rubbing off on him, though. Wouldn't y'all agree? Like Corral's confidence and charisma rubs off on the rest of the team and gives them kind of an edge. Like they see him acting that way. Like remember he almost got decapitated in the Egg Bowl last year fighting a linebacker from State who had one of the best defenses in the country. I mean, those dudes were nasty. You didn't want to mess with them. And I know Plumlee was a confident guy from the beginning. I mean, I talked to him at Meet the Rebels, and he was really cool, really confident, laid back. Like, what's up, dude? What's going on? Yeah, I'm expecting to win some games this year. We're going to be awesome. It's going to be a great year. I mean, he's a cool dude. And he's got all the confidence in the world. I mean, he came in against Cal last week, and it was like he didn't skip a beat. I mean, he was ready to play ball. And he did play ball. And yesterday, he was ready to play ball. But I think a lot of that was Corral's confidence rubbing off on him. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. Corral is definitely a good leader in a way, and I think he's definitely rubbed off on because Corral's a redshirted freshman, of course.
Yeah.
And Plumlee's a true freshman. So,
and Tisdale is as well.
So I think Plumlee is looking up to Corral as a leader, and which has really helped him to play harder and play better. But I think Plumlee's just that type of guy with that mentality. I've seen him in high school, and he looked.
He's awesome.
He's the real deal.
All right, so we talked. Me and you talked about this a little bit yesterday. We talked about Ely having a good game yesterday. He had 90-something rushing yards. He looked good, explosive speed. I want both of y'all to chime in on this as well. Scotty was non-existent yesterday. 7 carries for 27 yards. What's the issue with Scotty?
Speed. He's not as fast as Ely.
But why aren't we running him the ball?
Well, when we run the ball, they just run straight up the middle. And who's going to run right up the middle in Bama?
Why did we quit running him last week against Cal, though? In the second half, we didn't run him at all. No. Why? And I don't mean to lament the Cal loss at all, but Scotty Phillips is a dynamic running back. And look, Scotty, I know you're listening to us right now. You listen to us every week. You always give us feedback and commentary. You always tell us that you're our number one fan, and we're your number one fan too, Scotty. I would run through a wall for Scotty Phillips. I would, because he ran through a wall for us last year. Nearly had 1,000 yards rushing, battled through injury, and kept playing and never gave up. And he's doing the same thing this year. He is a great back. Why are we not giving him the ball? Burford.
I mean, that's a good question.
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe they see something we don't see in practice, or I don't know. I mean, Scotty Phillips is definitely, in my opinion, he's one of the best backs in the country. Really, athletically, he's got all the skills, capabilities.
He really hasn't had a big time explosive run this year.
Scotty?
Yeah.
He did against Arkansas. Remember, he had that one where it should have been a touchdown.
Right. Yeah,
but they really haven't.
And he had one against Memphis too. He had like a 20-something yarder rush too. But I'm just saying, yeah. But he is an explosive back there. He's a bowling ball. He never goes backwards. And I get maybe not running him a bunch against Alabama. You don't want him to get hurt. You want to preserve him. You're going to need him in those toss-up games what we have coming up with like Missouri and A&M and Mississippi State, games like that where we can win. You need Mahomes to go on?
Yes.
Yeah, we both need Mahomes to get big plays. But what was your takeaway other than that, Jonah? Other than the that our offense looked okay, play calling could have been better, and you liked what you saw from Ely, and you liked what you saw from Plumlee. What about defensively speaking?
I thought our rush defense was on point. I mean, considering Alabama's loaded in the backfield all around on their skill positions
It's
are just
ridiculous.
loaded. Yeah, it's
Oh, I did see on Twitter though. I think it was Clay Travis who said this Alabama receiving trio may be the best. He's like, can you guys name a better wide receiver tandem than the one Alabama has this year? They may be the best in college football ever. And I said, the Ole Miss receiver tandem last year. I definitely would put up.
Longo didn't know how to.
No, but I think
whatnot.
A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, and Lodge and Dawson Knox is a better tandem than what Bama has, and that's not taking anything away from Judge Judy or Henry Ruggs or Waddle or Smith. I mean, those guys are amazing wide receivers. They went to Bama for a reason. But I really do think that DK Metcalf tandem was better. I don't mean to get off on that though. So you thought the run defense was good. We did contain Najee. I mean, we didn't let them run all over us. Like last year, they ran all over us. This year they didn't.
Our tackling was kind of took a step back, but I mean, 5-star talent, explosive players. I mean, what?
But they try to spear the guys too much. Like I remember watching in the first half, there was like a 3rd and 5 where they threw a little screen pass, and I think it was Jalen Jones or it may have been Julius. Could have easily made the tackle, but he tried to spear at the ankles, missed the wide receiver, and Smith ran in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
How? How do you not just wrap him up and tackle like Jalen Jones made that play against Memphis? That 3rd and 1 play where he hits Coxie in the backfield and knocks him down. And Coxie was a transfer from LSU. That's a 5-star receiver that was playing for Memphis that we're hitting. I guess because they have an A on their helmet at Alabama. We're scared to tackle him. We're scared to hit him. I don't understand that. But I agree with you that the tackling was not good yesterday. But the rush defense was good, and the pass defense was awful. I mean, the secondary is just – it is what it is. And if you're not pressuring Tua, if you give him any time to get that ball off, I mean, those receivers were so open at certain points in the game. I mean, it wasn't funny. We would blitz Tua and put pressure on him and would get him, and he'd just have – well, we'd get to him, right? We'd have him pushed to the ground, but would have thrown the ball – would have had Smith wide open or Waddle wide open every single time. I get that you want to lock down Judy. And we did a good job containing Judy for the most part. I mean, he had a decently big game, but we did a good job covering him. It's kind of like, I think Ole Miss did like exactly what USM did to Bama the week before. Just shut down Judy. Well, then Ruggs went off. Okay, we'll shut down Ruggs. Then Judy went off. But we did that yesterday. We did like shut down Judy and Ruggs got hurt, so just Judy and Waddle. Then Smith just, all right, let him get it. But it's not going to be Judy.
I mean, for the defense this year, I will say this: they don't really give up as many explosive plays as we used to last year. Like there'd be like no big run. There hasn't really been any big runs for any of these teams this year that we faced. At least that's just my opinion. What's that? Bama. I mean, all explosive plays because you really can't do much to defend that or whatnot. But that's all I got.
Do you think there's any? How much of an impact do you think Momo's absence has on some of our defense?
He's basically our quarterback for the defense.
Yeah. How much? I like Jacquez Jones a lot. I really do. I think
he has a lot of skill.
And he plays hard. He does play hard. He has skill, but I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready to be the team captain on defense. I don't think he's ready to take over duties. Lakia Henry shows bursts of energy and speed and excitement at times, but he does not tackle. He does not wrap up and tackle him all the time. I love Sam Williams. I told you, I would die for Sam Williams. I love him. He looks good. He looks elite out there. Benito just doesn't show up. I mean, he has not played well. Coatney played well yesterday. Made some big tackles. But when you're running a 3-4, though, no one should be getting double-teamed. Why are we not sending a linebacker up the middle? That's McIntyre's job, not mine. I'm not the defensive coordinator. Mike McIntyre is, and he does a better job than I would, okay? I'll give him credit for that. And I think Jeff Coons has done a good job with the linebackers. They're in place.
Honestly, it doesn't matter when your secondary is getting destroyed every play.
So I do think that Momo's absence does make a big difference right now.
He's the quarterback of the defense.
Yeah, and he does run the defense, and not having him there to kind of
he's a leader.
Read the offense, to call the coverages and call the plays. You're relying on Jacquez Jones and Lakia Henry, and then sometimes Willie Hibbler to do it.
How many weeks is he out?
He's out. He's probably out for the year, dog, because we're going to medically redshirt him.
Oh, okay.
So he can
I
play
thought,
next
I
year.
thought he was out for like 10 weeks.
Well, it's
and then
10 weeks, but why play him again? Why play him?
Yeah.
Why play him in the last 2 games? It's not worth it. Why play him in the last 2 games in the bowl game? It's not worth it. Y'all, you caught that? So, all right, looking to Vandy, what do you expect? Vandy is not good.
I expect them to run their star running back. I don't know his name, but if we stop him and make their quarterback to throw the ball, I think we got a chance to win.
I'm never saying.
I think we're going to win. At least I hope we're going to win.
I'm never saying a team should throw the ball again after the Cal debacle. I'm like, the one key to this game is Cal has a good running back. Make them throw the ball.
Because they're going to run the ball with that good running back.
Yeah, they are. I hope they try to force the run down us too, because that'd be great. We just stop that and then beat them on offense. I don't think Vandy's capable of stopping our offense. I don't think they have the defensive back talent.
Yeah,
they have
but you got to
defensive
remember,
talent, but
every time we play Vanderbilt, it's always close. I don't know why.
except for 2 years ago, we smoked them at home. But I think we should beat Vandy pretty solidly. I think the team is very optimistic. I don't believe in moral victories, but I will take all the moral victories of yesterday of scoring 31 on Bama. I mean, if we score 31 on Bama, we can put up 60 on Vandy. Would you agree? We can. I didn't say we will. We can. We're capable of that.
Yeah, I agree with that, but it just depends if we show up.
Is there unilateral consensus that we are capable of putting up 60 on Vandy?
Yes.
Yes. Is there unilateral consensus that Vandy is capable of putting 60 on us?
No.
Yes.
No.
If they throw the ball at all. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm joking. But I think we should beat Vandy. I think it'll be a game, and you're going to laugh at me when I say this, but I think this could be like a 42-17 kind of game where we kind of put the wood on Vandy. I really do.
I feel like an Arkansas game.
Arkansas, but I think we're going to play more.
Yeah, but this win's not going to be enough to get the fans.
So let's say Corral's healthy by Saturday, which he should be. Who's starting?
I say start Corral if he's good to go, and then put some Plumlee packages.
I agree.
Why not?
Jonah, what do you think?
I agree with that. I like what Corral brings to the table as far as passing game. We can get the passing game going early, and then they scored.
Yep. Did Mahomes sneak it?
No, I wish.
No. Okay, but looking forward to Vandy though, I really do think if Corral's healthy, we should start him. Obviously, he's the starting quarterback for a reason, right? He's got the arm. He's got the arm talent. He's able to get out of the pocket. He does have speed about him. He doesn't have Plumlee speed, but he has speed, and he's got the rocket of an arm, and he has the chemistry with the team. But I think Corral should be, and I love Matt Corral. His mom is actually a fan of our channel at Groveside Chats on Instagram. She does. She follows our content and stuff. She might have listened to us before. I don't know. But, I mean, I'm just saying she does follow our stuff. And so, Mrs. Corral, if you're listening, we love your son to death. I'm on Rebel Grove on the message boards defending your son, saying, like, don't give up on him yet. But
no, he's just a freshman.
But I think he should be on the shortest of leashes, though. I really do. If he starts to screw up the slightest bit, pull and put Plumlee in, put Tisdale in. Let these two guys get to work, too, regardless of what happens in that game. If we're up and it's not a close game, or if we're down and it's not a close game, we really need to see more of Tisdale and Plumlee. I thought it was malpractice to burn one of Tisdale's games just to put him in for 2 passes. That was kind of ridiculous. If you're trying to redshirt him, why would you burn one of his games like that against Bama? I mean, the argument may be that you don't want Plumlee getting hurt late, but then just run the ball to Snoop Connor. The game's over anyway.
He ran good.
He did run good. I mean, just give the ball to the running backs. If you don't want your quarterback to get hurt, the way for him not to get hit is to give the ball to running backs. The game was over. It's not like we were trying to prove anything. We lost the game anyway. But I see a 42-17 kind of game coming. I think we could smoke Vandy. I hope we do.
I hope so.
But it's a night game in Oxford. Let's talk. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Let's talk some crowd in attendance. I was at the Cal game last week. I thought the crowd was abysmal. Shame on y'all for not showing up, really. And if you don't want to, keep up with our content or you don't want to like me because of this stuff, I don't care. You should show up to every game you have an opportunity to show up at. Barring like a family incident or event, you should be there to support your Rebs. And the students, that was horrible and abysmal how they didn't show up, how you saw 99% of the student section being empty. And I saw a thread on Rebel Grove saying that, the students it's disgraceful that they didn't show up. But I'm like, well, they learned it from the adults because where are the adults at the game? They weren't there either. It's a shame that Cal brought as many fans per capita as we did. Obviously, we outnumbered them 5-1, but they brought as many per capita as we did. How horrible is that? And looking forward to Vandy, do you think the crowd will be good on Saturday night? Why?
Well, I just don't think it's going to be good.
Give me one good reason not to show up for a 6:30 game against Vandy, a game that we should win.
I don't have a good reason because I'll be there.
Oh, I know, I'm not playing devil's advocate with you. I'm just asking, just a general question. Thomas, you're an outsider. Come here. We got a buddy of ours. Tell me, you're not an Ole Miss fan at all. I know you kind of cheer for us sometimes, but you give me a good reason why Ole Miss fans shouldn't show up to Ole Miss versus Vanderbilt next Saturday. It's that 6:30 p.m. game.
I think it just goes into a lack of interest for the program. The program's at a kind of an unsteady unsteady place right now. And, I don't know. I mean, this is the time right now for the fan base to back the program. They're not coming through at all.
Yeah. So what do you think of the Matt Luke experiment's kind of a big reason that the fans won't be showing up? A lot of them are not showing up because they're going to express their disdain for the Luke tenure as coach and for the administration as a whole.
Yeah, because we have no leadership and the crowd really, or the people, the Ole Miss fan base doesn't really
the alum, the boosters.
Yeah, they don't have a trust in the administration right now.
Why wouldn't you trust Keith Carter right now? He's a guy you need to be getting behind because he's doing a lot of good for our university right now.
Yeah, I don't know why we still have him as an interim.
I know. Take the interim off of him. Promote him to AD
and
right
for
now.
Chancellor, I'm hearing from her, Neal, and Chase.
Chase is on the committee.
That he is. Mm-hmm. That the Arizona president is a candidate for.
That'll be good.
Because apparently he went to Jones Community College, went to Millsaps, UMC, and then after all that, he went to like Stanford and I don't know where else.
He's got a good pedigree, and he's very qualified for the job. Another one,
and he's a Mississippi guy too.
There was a slight rumor. This was a while back that if something happened to Vitter, Condoleezza Rice would have been one interested in the job. How amazing would that be to have her as a chancellor? That'd be incredible. But that's a rumor. That's not going to happen. She ain't going to do that.
Y'all want to talk about attendance? It's down across the board in college football.
I know, except for like LSU,
right?
and South Carolina. You texted me about that yesterday. How is South Carolina a fair to middle and mediocre program
every year? 2-3, and they have.
But their stadium's packed.
Yeah.
There's people trying to get in their stadium. There's people standing outside the stadium trying to find tickets that they can steal from people to get in. I mean, it's crazy. And it's not like they're the only program.
Blame TV. That's all you got to blame.
Well, South Carolina's on TV, and there are people still show up, and they're not the only team in that state.
And Nebraska, they were getting smoked and over half.
Nebraska filled up for their spring game.
Yeah.
But let me tell you this. South Carolina is not the only team. Like, Nebraska's the only team in that state. So that's the only thing going on in Nebraska, right? You can either pick corn or go watch a Cornhuskers football game. I mean, what would you rather do? Stick a corn cob in your rear end or watch Nebraska? I mean, some of y'all guys might rather do that than watch a football game. I don't know. But I mean, yeah. But South Carolina is rivaling Clemson in the state, right? Clemson is in the same state as them. So you have every reason. You got all these fair weather fans that have every reason to say, I'm not watching the Cox play anymore. I don't like Cock anymore. I'm going to go watch Clemson play. I mean, Nikki Haley supports Clemson, if that means anything. But, yeah, you're right. The attendance, you're correct when saying that, Thomas. Attendance has been down across the board. I mean, even Bama, you saw parts of their upper deck were empty yesterday, but I'm not sure their fan base is just real thrilled to take on the mighty Rebels. Where it's not like we're some elite powerhouse right now. We haven't been in a while.
And also there's a lack of interest just in the students, I think. I mean, just across the board. I don't know if it's a generational thing or what it is.
People aren't taught to love the game. And the TV thing. Why would you want to go out in the 99-degree heat when you can sit at home and watch it on TV? Right. And it's a social media age. I can look at the score on my phone. I can watch the game on my phone. I can keep up with it on Twitter. Like, why do I need to be there? I really do think there needs to be instilled in this generation some love for the game. And I'm glad. This is where I'm glad me and you started this podcast, Christian. So we can inspire people younger than us, or our age too, to be excited about the Rebels, excited about college football, excited about sports in general, and to show up for games. I mean, I remember dropping nearly $1,000 last year for 2 tickets to go watch the Steelers and Saints play in the Superdome because I'm excited about my team. Of course, NFL attendance has been great this year. Last year there were some issues because of the kneeling controversy. Some people weren't going to show their support, but this year attendance has been great. But I've shelled out so much money to go to college football games. It's not even funny. And you wouldn't even believe how much I spent last year to go to the Pavilion. I'm not bragging like I'm some sort of big money guy at Ole Miss. I'm not. They laugh at me if they saw my income. But I go to every game that I'm able to attend. The only game I won't chastise fans for not being there for was that Southeast Louisiana game because there's no reason to be there for that game.
I wasn't even there for
That's
that
kind of
game.
contradictory to what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
You should show up anyway. But I had something going on that day anyway. But so that's pretty much it for the Rebels. I think y'all think we beat Vandy?
I think we'll be Vandy.
Yeah, I hope so.
Thomas, what do you think?
I think Ole Miss comes out with the win on that one.
What do you
Night
think?
game in Oxford.
How
Going
close
with the Rebs.
of a game do you think that will be though? Do you think the Rebels kind of dominate the game, or do you think Vandy makes it close?
I think Vandy's going to put up some points.
Yeah.
I think Ole Miss is too. But
I said about 42-17, so that's a blowout, right?
yeah.
Because I don't think they're going to be able to stop our electric speed on offense, especially if we're starting Plumlee. If Corral's still hurt, we're starting Plumlee. They're not going to be able to get to him. And if we're running quick slants and getting Drummond and Moore, I mean, they don't have the DBs Bama has. But if we're starting Corral, I mean, Corral opens up the passing game big time. So, Thomas, you were with me. We're going to transition. I was at a game yesterday. I watched the Southern Miss Golden Eagles take on the University of Texas El Paso Miners, the mighty Miners of El Paso. Speaking of bad stadium attendance, my gosh, Saturday at the Rock every game should be blackout because it's like a funeral.
Oh yeah.
The attendance, the side we were on, the home side, the crowd was really good in the lower deck. And the upper deck, there were sections that were full. The visiting side was awful. UTEP brought all 13 of their fans. They had a mighty loud crowd. I mean, I got a little startled at how loud the crowd was at a certain point in the game. Southern Miss won that game 31-13. It was kind of like, in my eyes, it was very similar to our game versus Arkansas week 2, where we won. What was it, 38-17? Was it the final score? I think 31-17. Where we could have put up 50 points on Arkansas easily. We had some misfortune, had some bad calls not go our way. I thought the Golden Eagles could have easily put up 52 plus on El Paso.
I think you're absolutely right.
But Quez Watkins also dropped a couple of touchdowns. One of them he had to extend. He should have called it, but he didn't. Another one, blatant pass interference they didn't call. You had a missed field goal in the bunch. What do you think, Thomas? Your takeaway from the game?
My takeaway is just, I mean, I think we were in control the entire game. Had some mistakes. Yeah. And
run game was non-existent.
Run game was atrocious, and O-line was
O-line's
really
bad.
mediocre. Yeah.
They were getting pressure on Abraham every play. But the good thing about it was, though, and many of y'all remember Jack Abraham because he was the quarterback at Oxford several years back, throwing dimes to DK Metcalf. Of course, DK made him look like dimes at times. But Abraham did a good job getting out of the pocket, though, when he was flushed out and trying to make the plays. I mean, and the receivers were open all the time. I mean, you had Jalen, who was always open. Quez was always open. And Mitchell dropped a few passes that he really should have caught, but he was open as well. I thought UTEP's quarterback was really good. He couldn't throw the ball, and his receivers definitely weren't helping him out. They don't have Jerry Jeudy at UTEP. But their receivers were horrible. They were not open at all. But that dude was really good at getting out of pressure. And you could not bring him down on the first hit. He was always breaking tackles, getting out of the pocket, scrambling, getting 7-8 yards, chipping away. He kind of kept UTEP in the game for the most part in the second half.
He really did. I was impressed by him. He was probably one of their only good athletes on the team.
He might have been the best athlete on the field at times.
That's debatable. I mean, we got some athletes too.
On defense. I'm just saying, I'm not comparing it to the offense. I'm comparing it to, him versus the Golden Eagle defense, times when substitutions were being made. I'm saying he could potentially have been the best. I'm not saying he's the best player, but maybe the best athlete, on the field. He was outrunning people, stiff-arming, breaking tackles. I mean, that dude looked good. He couldn't throw the ball to save his life. But, I mean, running-wise, it reminded me of watching Cam Akers play high school ball. He couldn't throw the ball. Clinton couldn't throw the ball, but he ran it down your throat, and there was nothing you could do to stop him.
That's the thing about going to these mid-major games. I mean, it's not as it's I wouldn't say it's as entertaining as say an SEC game, but you can pick guys out in the crowd. I mean, there's some really good athletes
like Quez Watkins. How did Quez Watkins not get big Power 5 offers? I heard it was conduct issues. He has off the field things. His grades were fine. I mean, you could pay someone to have good grades.
Right.
I mean, I don't really think. Do you think that?
I think it's an attitude problem.
Do you think AJ Brown was going to class every day? I love you, AJ. Do you think that Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy and Tua are hitting the books and studying together, and they're having study groups on Friday nights and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really.
Pre-game studying.
On Friday nights, everybody's at the bars. They're out studying. They're going over biochemistry and mentoring each other. Yeah.
You could pay
an athlete to have a good game. So, to Quez Watkins, though, he is an NFL talent.
There's no doubt about it.
I mean,
I think he's special. I think he's gonna get drafted, and I think he's gonna get drafted late just because of
what do you think the chances are that maybe he doesn't have the high draft stock or draft stock at all this year? He ends up being a grad transfer to like a P5 school. Do you think you could see that possibility happening? Because he wouldn't have to sit out.
That's true. Yeah.
Could you imagine him playing for like Oklahoma or Texas or like a Georgia? Georgia needs receivers right now. Georgia or a team like that. He would be an instant difference maker.
He would. Yeah.
I mean, you see every play. The UTEP would have a safety on him all the time. He was never in single man coverage. They were playing a zone specifically to stop him, and he was open every time. There was nothing they could do to stop him. They were 3 steps behind him.
So all you Ole Miss fans, okay, I know you're thinking about, okay, this is Southern Miss receiver, okay, he's not very good. I want you to go into your phone right now, go into YouTube, look up Quez Watkins highlights. Okay?
He's better than Lodge. And I love Lodge. Lodge is a nice guy, but he's better than Lodge.
And also look up some punt returns from Jalen Adams.
Oh, Jalen Adams. He was a track star in high school.
Oh, yeah.
And that first touchdown was 3rd and long. The offense looked really inept in that first drive. And they did that reverse screen on the weak side. And Adams, pew! They had 3 guys just running him down. I did the stupidest motion right then, y'all, if y'all couldn't see that. But they were trying to run him down. It looked goofy. He was outrunning everybody. But the Golden Eagles ended up winning that game 31-13. They held their own. They controlled the game the whole time. They really could have put up 52 or more. Defense looked solid. I mean, they did force UTEP's quarterback out of the pocket every time. He made some big plays, and he looked really good. But, I mean, they stifled him, though. There wasn't really much he could do other than show out as best as he could. But, I mean, he didn't have much of a room to do that. That pretty much recaps all the games that we watched and kept up with yesterday. We did have a good game in Auburn, Alabama, where the Auburn Tigers just skull drug the Mississippi State Bullfrogs through the mud.
Yeah, there really wasn't many good games on.
Boring. The game of the week was Nebraska and Ohio State.
I knew that game was going to get
yeah.
Who thought that would be a good game?
No, I thought the game of the week should have been was it Virginia Tech and Notre Dame?
And that was a good game.
That was a good game.
That was Notre Dame. Dude, Notre Dame is making a solid case.
Deal.
If they continue to win, if they win out, they make a solid case to be in the playoff. They really should be in a conference.
They could get some help though.
They need to be in a conference.
Say Bama loses, Georgia loses in the championship game against like LSU.
Yeah,
those two have one loss.
You're calling LSU being in the SEC championship. I see it. I'm with it.
I think LSU. I think LSU's the real deal. I think, in my opinion, they're the best team in the country. But that's just my opinion. And from what I've seen, they look good. And but I mean, you can also make the argument. Was it Auburn? They've played tough teams too already. Oregon, A&M, and
I don't know how tough A&M is yet.
I feel like Auburn should be number 1 in the country right now.
Auburn? Nah, I'd say LSU. Auburn's definitely up there. Auburn's definitely up there, but I would say A&M right now. Not A&M. I saw A&M pop up on my phone. LSU right now, not A&M.
You made the case for Georgia too.
Other good games that were yesterday. I'll give you some score updates. You had Friday night. Arizona State upset Cal. Good. I hope that team loses out. Screw them. Actually, I don't have anything against Cal. Their fan base is really nice. They had really good people. I wish you could have been there for that game, Christian. Because I talked to a lot of Cal fans. They're really good people, really good folks. So Cal, wish y'all the best. Sorry about y'all's loss. Oklahoma smoked Texas Tech 55-16. Wisconsin had a tough one with Northwestern. They beat them 24-15. Michigan needed a bounce back win. They beat Rutgers 52-0. A&M barely squeaked out Arkansas. Looking forward to the season, I really do think we can beat A&M. Will we? I don't know, but I think we can. I don't think Kellen Mond's all that. And we can score on them. Their defense is very weak, very vulnerable. We can score on them, but we just have to do it, right? And it's at home. We have them at home, which means they'll beat us even more.
We need everybody to show up.
You had Vanderbilt beating Northern Illinois. I mean, Northern Illinois, they beat them 24-18. There's no reason we shouldn't beat Vandy. TCU smoked Kansas. Poor Les Miles, 51-14. And here's a team that I can't figure out this year. Sorry about the motorcycle. We're having an award for smallest Peter. BYU, I cannot figure them out. They get smoked by Utah week 1, expected, right? They beat Tennessee. Okay, big win, right? At Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee's not good, but Tennessee should have won that game. BYU found a way to win. Then they smoke USC. Then they lose to Toledo, 28-21. How do you lose to Toledo? How? That's like losing to South Alabama at home, Mississippi State. But how do you lose to Toledo? Other good games. I mean, North Carolina. Why do they go for 2?
That was probably the.
That was the
I
worst.
agreed with that.
No,
No.
Not the play call, but I
No.
agree with that too.
No,
No,
gotta get the
I
number one
don't.
team,
Why?
dude.
take them to overtime.
Shot, man.
Would you go for 2 right there? Would you take Clemson to overtime? You have a statistically much better chance to win that game in overtime.
When you're playing at home and you got Clemson on the ropes, you got to go for 2 right there.
I disagree. Give me your reasoning why.
Because
And I'm not going to argue too hard with Thomas. Because Thomas, y'all haven't seen him yet. He's very big and jacked. He'd whoop me with 2 fingers.
I don't know about that.
It's not the first time.
Spank
Never mind.
you.
I was about to say something bad. But it's a family-friendly show. Y'all go to church Sunday. It's good for your family. Y'all need it and deserve it. Why would you go for 2 right there, Thomas? Obviously, it didn't work for him, but hindsight's always 20/20. But if Phil Longo's your offensive coordinator, why are you going for 2?
Because this is a
Who
fluke.
runs it?
It's a fluke game. Okay, it's a fluke game, and you got them on the ropes. All right, you
Thomas.
don't
Listen to me.
give them more time.
Phil Longo is the moron who managed to have a 5-7 season at Ole Miss with DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, Dawson Knox as his receivers.
And Lodge.
Lodge. How do you not win 7 games just
And
with those
Scotty
guys on
Phillips.
offense?
He's
The defense could be middle schoolers. You should still win with that roster on offense. He had a play called get open. Just run free. Literally, it's backyard football. I kick the field goal. Kick the extra point. Take the point. Go to overtime. You have a statistic because Trevor Lawrence was not playing good. You make him beat you right there. You beat yourselves on that 2-point conversion.
I think North Carolina looked good yesterday.
Their defense looked really good. That defensive coordinator
They matched Clemson.
So listen, their
all
defensive
into the
coordinator
field.
was the coach at Army last year. Remember how good Army was last year? They beat Houston like 56-7 in the bowl game. Army was awesome. Their coach is now North Carolina's defensive coordinator, and he's one of them. They've got like really solid, tough defense. And I'm not arguing tooth and nail against you. I'm fine with the 2-point conversion call because I'm gonna sound kind of contradictory because you do take your chance against Clemson. That's fine, but you save yourself so much heartbreak. You just kick the extra point. If they just beat you in overtime, they just beat you. Make them beat you, right? But you beat yourself on the 2-point conversion.
You don't give the ball back to Clemson right there.
You get the ball back too, though.
Right.
They almost recovered the onside kick. They just overran the kick.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think Mac Brown has the Tar Heels in the right direction. There's no
He's got
doubt
some
about it.
stones too, man.
He really does.
Yeah, he does. I'm proud of Matt Brown. I'm glad to see him working well with his original school too. I'm proud of him. And what North Carolina, they got screwed against Wake Forest. But that doesn't mean they would have won the game. They had 1 second left on the clock. They should have gotten another play. But it is what it is. I think North Carolina will be on the rise. But to take Clemson to the rope like that, Clemson, it just seems like every year they have that one game where they vomit all over themselves. And in the year it had been against past years, it had been against Syracuse. I guess North Carolina's the team now that Larry Fedora's gone. Well, you know about Larry Fedora, Southern Miss days, best coach in Golden
Anywhere,
Eagle.
anytime.
Anyone, anywhere, anytime.
Oh,
Yeah, but other games, like you said, game of the week should have been Virginia and Notre Dame. Notre Dame won that game 35-20. Virginia gave them a good battle, and Virginia's a good team.
They're two top 25 teams.
Yeah.
That shouldn't.
Heck,
Nebraska's unranked.
why not go to Washington? USC and Washington was another top 25 matchup. Washington won that game 28-14.
It's just embarrassing. We got Ohio State.
That was stupid. I guess they were just finding a reasoning.
In my opinion, I think Ohio State is top 3 best.
Oh,
teams
for
in the
sure.
country.
Justin Fields looks really good.
And J.K. Dobbins.
He's not the best passer, but you get him out of the pocket, he's going to outrun you.
Their defense is very.
And their defense is solid.
What do y'all think about Notre Dame? You think they have a spot?
Well, I was saying that earlier. They
like
have a
the
convincing case, but that one loss just kills them because they're not in a conference. You need to be in a conference to be able to win a conference championship in order to prove yourself. But they're gonna need some help.
But that was a great loss.
Georgia's gonna have to diarrhea the bed. Bama and LSU are gonna have to exfoliate. I'm just kidding, but they're
I
gonna.
just don't see Notre Dame.
Michigan
Going to the
State
playoff.
beat
They're not
Indiana,
gonna go.
the mighty Indiana, 40-31. And Auburn just beat the heck out of Mississippi State, 56-23. You hate to see it, except you don't.
No.
UCF beat UConn 56-21. Way to go, UConn, for covering that game. UCF was like a 54-point favorite to win that game. And that tells you something about UConn's football team. I really think you can get our alma mater, Ridgeland High School, to go out there and beat UConn. Oklahoma State beat Kansas State, a team that had beaten Mississippi State. Proud of them. 26-13. Like I said, Southern Miss beat UTEP 31-13. And Ohio State beat Nebraska 48-7. Oh, Florida State actually looked good yesterday too. They beat NC
Yeah, their
State.
crowd was pretty good too.
Yeah, finally they beat NC State 31-13. I don't think it's time to give up on Willie Taggart yet. Give him some time to get it together. I mean, I still think he's a good coach. I don't think he's a great coach. I think he's very overrated. He was never great at Oregon. He was mediocre. He had like a 7-5 year, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's the best thing ever." But I think he's still a good enough coach. And the thing about it is, you don't have to be a great coach at Florida State because the talent sells itself. Like that brand sells itself. Is Coach O a great coach?
No, he's a good recruiter.
But you don't have to recruit.
I mean, I'm sure people would understand.
But you don't have to recruit at LSU. You've got bagmen that are giving your guys money. But not even just that. That's it. I'm
We're
joking.
stealing from
That's
hospitals.
That's tooth and nail. That's tooth and that's tongue in cheek. Like but you gotta admit, even without the money, the LSU brand sells itself. Am I right?
Yes.
The Alabama brand sells itself. Like Auburn brand, like you see that logo, that automatically attracts these young athletes. I mean, they're going to want to go to those schools, so that's their best chance to get to the pro. That's kind of our college football update and scoreboard. What we saw yesterday. I'm going to give an NFL scoreboard if I can get it real quick.
Panthers beat the Texans 16-10.
Ooh.
My fantasy team blows.
Yeah, my fantasy team's struggling.
Hey.
Mahomes led a game-winning drive to beat the
Lions.
Detroit.
Will Disley got me a touchdown.
Keep talking. Tell me what you think.
Let's see.
Talk about A.J. Brown's 2 touchdowns. I want to talk about that some more.
Sick.
I mean, the first one, he shook the entire Falcons defense. All right, I got the NFL score update. The Seahawks are up 16-3 on the Cardinals. I don't know if DK has had any plays yet. That game it started a little bit ago. The Buccaneers are up 7-0 on the Rams, which is weird because the Rams were, Super Bowl team last year. They have a really good roster. And the Buccaneers are about to score again. They're in the 2-yard line for the Rams.
Yeah, let's go, Jameis.
No, don't go, Jameis.
Who scored?
The Bears are up 7-0 on the Vikings. I think the Vikings can come back and win that one, but I don't trust Kirk Cousins. The Broncos are up 7-0 on the Jaguars. I hope Garner Minshew has a big game. The Patriots, in an underwhelming game, they won 16-10 against the Bills. I think the Bills are good. I thought it was fool's gold that the Bills were 3-0 early on in the year, but I really do think they have a really good defense.
Yeah.
Their defense is very good, and they're not. I love how their offense is not making Josh Allen do too much. They know what he's capable of. He tried to throw a couple of deep balls earlier, like the first 2 drives. He threw more passes to the Patriots than he did to his own team. But they're not making him do too much. They know what he's capable of, and they're building the team around him. Like Dawson Knox had a great catch earlier, great tight end to have for them. It's a shame Phil Longo never found him a touchdown at Ole Miss.
That is surprising.
The Chiefs edged out a game against the Lions. The Chiefs their defense is bad. They really should be trading for Jalen Ramsey ASAP. Give up Tyreek Hill, give up a left nut, give up whatever you can to get a Jalen Ramsey. I mean, give up anything possible to get Jalen Ramsey on your roster.
Armstrong this thing and give up part of themselves.
But I mean, you don't need. Do they need Tyreek Hill at receiver right now?
No.
They got Mecole Hardman, who's awesome. I mean, Georgia's missing him right now. They got Sammy Watkins. I mean, they got the receivers. They got Shady back at running back, who's awesome. And Mahomes is just a playmaker. But the guy that holds that offense together is Travis Kelce, and he does not get enough praise for what he does to hold that offense together. Because you can't play a cover 3 zone back on the Chiefs because there's always that threat of being a 10-yard down and out by Kelce. He will kill you right there.
Kelce is definitely an elite tight
The
end.
Giants beat the Redskins 24-3. The Daniel Jones era is here. Let's go, Daniel Jones. He's
What was the score?
24-3.
Wow.
The Giants defense showed up today. But
Without Saquon Barkley, too.
well, I mean, Saquon doesn't play defense.
Well, I'm saying without him on the
I'm just messing with you. I'm messing with you. I'm kidding with you. You can hurt me later. I'm sorry. Tonight we got a big one between the Saints and the Cowboys. Who dat? Let's go Saints. I hope the Cowboys don't score a point. I hope he gets lit up. Jordan. I hope Cam Jordan and KJ Klein or AJ Klein and Demario Davis are in the backfield. I want to talk about this for a second. Did y'all see that Demario Davis? He's from Brandon. Went to Brandon High School. Played at Arkansas State. Great linebacker for the Saints. Yeah, he's been awesome. He got fined $5,000. He got fined $5,000 last week for wearing a Child of God a headband that said Child of God on it. Why?
I mean, it's freedom of speech, man.
But how is that against the NFL's dress code policy? I mean, it was under his helmet. It wasn't like he was violating his contract. I guess he has to wear Nike apparel or everything. But
what a stud.
But why would you fine someone for that? I mean, are you not allowed to have religious expression? And I guarantee you, and I'm not trying to get on a political soapbox here, but it's hard for me not to. I guarantee you, yeah, he's waving me off too. But if he was of another religion, they wouldn't punish him for that. If he was an atheist, let's just say he was an atheist, not even get religion involved. If he was an atheist and said there is no God, there would be no punishment for him. I guarantee you that. Goodell is the softest, sorriest son of a gun on this planet. Changed my mind. How is I hope Tyreek Hill gets healthy soon. I hate that he's hurt, but how is he still eligible to play in the league this year? How is Vontaze Burfict still playing in the league after laying cheap shots on literally everybody in the league? The NFL. No. Vontaze Burfict is the linebacker for the Raiders.
He's actually changed it up around. Like,
No, did you see what he did today? Boom! Cheap headshot against the Colts tight end. Not Eric Ebron, but the white one.
I saw an interview with him, and he just
big talk, no action though. He's one of those guys that some people are like this. I don't understand it. It's like the Grayson Allen effect in basketball. Everybody hates Grayson Allen, but it's easy to hate the white Duke basketball player. Like everybody hated Christian Laettner. Everybody hated J.J. Redick. It's easy to hate those guys. Heck, I hated those guys. They're punks. Grayson Allen's actually, like, I've listened to interviews of him. I'm a diehard Grizzlies fan. He's actually, like, a really good guy, like, off the court, but something changes with him on the court where he gets super aggressive and he wants to fight everybody. Thomas, me and you are that way. We've played sports together. We've tried to light people up. I mean, I remember trying to fight somebody playing basketball, a guy that would have killed me playing basketball. But some people are like that. I think Burfict is one of those guys who's like that. But the NFL really needs to get their stuff together.
Definitely a hothead.
I think that's a vital part of being
athlete.
An athlete.
Well, especially
the position
he's at.
An elite athlete. You gotta change your mindset when you get on the field.
No, you're right.
He should definitely be punished for this. Hopefully, he gets a suspension and a fine of some sort because that shouldn't be allowed in any professional sport whatsoever.
Yeah,
you can't just allow guys.
Well, you can't be hitting people in the head like that.
It's just like when Dominican Sue was kicking people in the place.
Yeah,
over and over again.
In the privates.
In the private parts, yes. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't tolerate that.
Tomorrow night on Monday Night Football, my Steelers face the Cincinnati Bengals. It's a game that we might actually be able to win.
Battle of the worst.
The battle of the worst teams. It's sad because usually we're the top team in the AFC
we were
North.
predicted to be a playoff.
I think we can get it together. We still have plenty of time to get it together. Receivers need to start catching the balls. They need to quit making Juju have to make all the plays. Vance McDonald is out tomorrow, so that's going to hurt. We did sign that new tight end from Seattle. That'll help. James Conner hasn't gotten it going. I hope he can get it going on the ground. I mean, he's been awful.
He just doesn't have the charisma.
But this is Mason Rudolph's second start. He's gotten first-team reps all week. He's gotten familiar with the offense. I've been reading that he's good and he's ready to go. But you need to see a solid performance from James Washington, from Hunter.
Yeah.
And Juju's got to show out, and the defense has to play hard. But, I mean, Cincinnati's not like an explosive or dynamic offense, so we should see the Steelers even show up.
His roads.
And AJ Green's still hurt too, so I mean they're in trouble.
AJ Green's gonna be out for a few more weeks.
All right, so we took some questions last week. Well, I fielded some of y'all's questions. I haven't answered any of them yet, so I'm gonna take y'all's questions now. Then we're gonna talk a little bit of entertainment. And we're gonna conclude the show, so we're not gonna be on much longer. So I got the first question was from our Instagram questions feed. The first question came from one of our followers. He said, "Are you gay?" The answer is, well, Christian can answer for himself, but I'm not. I don't know about Christian. He's a little light on the load. No, I'm kidding. Christian, no, we're not gay.
No, we're not.
I'll answer these two questions as one because one said, what can you expect for a quarterback situation? And another one said, any potential on Plumlee playing more than Corral or Corral playing more? We talked about that. I think Corral's the guy. Don't give up on him yet. He's the starter for a reason. He's got all the tools, all the equipment. He is the guy. And he was a 5-star for a reason. And if he can get that accuracy under control, he'll be explosive and he'll be one of the better quarterbacks in the country. But he's got to get that accuracy under control. But if like I said, put him on the shortest of leashes. If he doesn't play to his potential, let Plumlee and Tisdale loose. I mean, it's their team too. Someone said, I'm not going to answer that question, Bennett. He said, would you rather be, you can read it. Would you rather be homeless and I'll let y'all read it after it's not good.
All right, come on, guys.
Someone said, are you going to the game this week? I think he was referring to the Bama game. I need to slow down. Sounding like Shapiro. Are you going to the game this week? I didn't go to the Alabama game. I was at Southern Miss. None of us went to Tuscaloosa. It's a pretty decent drive.
Why would we go pay to go watch a butt whooping?
Well, me and him have a reason because we cover the games, but we don't have a media pass or anything.
Yeah,
so if we had a media pass, I would go every game. Get free food, talk to games, talk to Neil McCreamy.
Yeah, okay. But this is not that.
But if we're talking about the Vandy game, though, I'll be there.
Oh, I'll be there.
I'll be there most likely.
I hate
and Thomas, you can come with me too. If you're not going to be Saturday at the Rock, you'll probably be Saturday at the Rock. But if you want to come to Oxford, you can ride with me. I'll get you a ticket.
Might take you up on that.
Yeah, John. I think John wants to come too. Yeah, we have some more questions.
Let me add some. Mississippi College unfortunately lost
No.
And they lost
Not
in
the
overtime.
Choctaws.
Yeah, they lost in overtime, 27-21. I can't remember the team, but
Y'all do the
unfortunately, yeah. And then we played technically this Saturday we play the number 2 team in, I guess the D2 or whatnot, something like that. So there's that. We're gonna get destroyed.
Do y'all play Belhaven and Millsaps or?
No, we play Delta State. That's our rival.
Oh, that'll probably be y'all.
Oh
That's
crap!
not gonna be fun.
Delta State's a good
All right, y'all.
team.
So we got some more
For
questions. I put a YOLO on my Snapchat and I said, "Ask me sports-related questions." My first sports-related question was, "When am I gonna spank your little hiney?" That was my sports-related question.
These questions are awful.
I got some perverts in my inbox. y'all calm down. I'm not available for everybody. Someone asked a question and says, "Why is Alabama so much better than everybody?" They're not. Favorite. Did y'all not watch the national championship game last year? They're not. It wasn't even
They're
close.
worse than they are
Clemson,
last year.
42-16. It wasn't close. Clemson killed them. Someone said favorite quarterback of all time, and then they put in parentheses no Big Ben because they know I'm a Steelers fan. Who's your favorite quarterback of all time? Round the clock.
It depends
Thomas.
on college or
That's on the
NFL.
spot there.
Or any.
The
I'm not-
gunslinger,
Brett
Brett
Favre?
Favre.
Oh, shoot.
You like it when he was sending pictures of his gunslinger to staffers for the Jets? Jonah, favorite quarterback of all time?
It's hard to say because there's so many good ones out there. But I like Brett Favre a lot. I'm a firm believer in Aaron Rodgers too. I think
So he's your favorite?
I love watching Aaron Rodgers play. Yeah, I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers.
All right.
Favorite of all time.
Archie's not my favorite.
Well,
I love Archie. But he's
Oh,
not my
he's
favorite.
I
not
can't
my
say people from like that I didn't see in my lifetime.
Yeah, that's
Live.
fair. That's fair.
That's why I'm going Aaron
Well,
Rodgers. Andrew
Since this
Luck,
is
too.
kind of last minute, I'll just say Chad Kelly.
Chad Kelly, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton. I love Peyton.
I would have killed to see him play.
Peyton,
Oh,
I've seen him
no.
play. I've seen him play. Peyton, I saw him play in Jackson when they had a scrimmage against the Saints at Memorial Stadium, Jackson State Stadium.
Dude.
Go Tigers. Peyton Manning is my favorite quarterback of all time. Someone said, when will the Ole Miss coach get fired? I don't think Kermit Davis is getting fired. I don't think I thought Mike Bianco should have
Okay,
been fired.
hold on.
We are not
I'm
going to make
joking.
any
Let's
decisions.
take a moment to recognize that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are winning 21-0 in the LA Rams.
Holy cow. What?
Yes.
Well,
For Matt Luke, we're not going to make any decisions until we actually get like an actual AD and chancellor.
yeah, and I think if any worse comes to worse, it'll be at the
I mean,
very
like,
end.
it's just his first fight. Well,
It'll be at the very end
I
of
wouldn't
this.
say it's actually.
It'll
this
be
is
the
the first true season with
Yeah, I think,
the
yeah.
amount of scholarships.
And no bowl
scholarships.
band, but I do think if things unravel though, if we go like 4-8, it'll be at the end of the season.
I feel like if we have two bad seasons or whatnot, it'll be
And if we lose and we're not competitive in games like A&M or State, and if we lose to Vandy and we're not and we blow the goats against New Mexico State, I think he'll be gone after this year.
I
You know
think,
what I mean?
yeah, the biggest games will be definitely beating. We need to beat Vandy for Matt Luke to stay. Vanderbilt needs to. We need to win that one. New Mexico State and definitely Mississippi State. Those
We're gonna-
3 wins. Need
I
to
just hope
happen.
we steal
That's-
one.
That puts us at
somehow.
5 wins.
That would be great.
6. We've already won 3.
1, 2.
Let's say Ole Miss gets 6
Yeah,
wins.
you're right.
Let's
I'm
say
silly.
y'all win
If
those
we
3 games
somehow
and y'all
win.
come out with 6 wins. Y'all still want Matt Luke as y'all's head coach.
We're keeping Luke because of the coordinators. Because you give Rich Rod and Mike McIntyre another year
I just
to
hope we
develop
can,
the
if
players
we get
they
6
have.
wins, I just
Right.
hope we can build on that.
But I really
Yeah.
do think Rich Rod and
I hope we get
McIntyre
5.
need to take control of the
Yeah.
team, though. Let Matt Luke sit there and stare.
At this point.
Okay, I really think Rich Rod and Mike McIntyre at the end of the year need to have a conference with Matt Luke and say, look, just stare at the scoreboard all game. Just let us call the game. You stare at the scoreboard. It'll be good.
And don't forget the squint.
Don't forget to squint and stare at the scoreboard. And go eat your bottomless pancakes at Denny's
Denny's
after the
is where
game.
it's at for him.
Shout out to Ben Sweeney, my uncle, for that. And all the innuendos you send us on game day. Someone asked about the Ole Miss Bama game, our takeaway, but we've already talked about that. Just listen to the beginning of the show. Okay, here's a good question.
Save your time.
Do you think the Saints, this is a good question because I'm not a Saints fan, I'm a
I'm not
Steelers
either.
fan. None of us are Saints fans. I like the Saints, but I'm not a Saints fan. What do you think? Do you think the Saints have a quarterback of the future in Bridgewater? Or is he just a bridge quarterback, pun intended, quarterback for a future rookie? That's a good question. So do you think,
Ooh, man.
so post Drew Brees,
That's a good question.
so let me restructure this question. Post Drew Brees, okay, let's say Brees is done after this year. He'll probably come back next year. If they don't go the distance this year, he'll probably play one more year because he'll have one more year left in him. Do you think the Saints can lean on Bridgewater to be the guy that carries the torch? Or do you think he's kind of a guy to fill in for a year or two before they can have a home run hit
I think
at rookie?
I feel like Bridgewater's the gap guy. He's going to be the in-between guy. He's good enough to win you games, take you to the playoffs. I don't think he's good enough to win you a championship for sure. Because Breeze has only won one, and Breeze is one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
But they should have been in the Super Bowl last year.
They should have. Yeah, no.
They would have beaten the Patriots.
No. It would have been a lot better game.
They would have beaten the Patriots.
I would like to think so. We wouldn't know until the game actually was
The
played.
Saints should have been in there 2 years ago. They got that was self-sabotage right there, letting Stephon. How do you run under a guy that's catching the ball?
Funny.
How do you run under him? But that's 2 years ago. I don't care. I'm not even mad.
2 unfortunate years.
The only thing that made me mad about that game is I was pulling for the Saints and I was already ticked off.
Make a bold prediction here: the Saints aren't going to go this year to the.
Well, I was already ticked off that game 2 years ago. I was already ticked off at my Steelers for blowing the game against the Jaguars.
Well, the Steelers should.
How do you let Blake Bortles beat you?
Is he even on a team?
No.
The Rams, he's like Goff's backup.
Yeah, he's a good backup quarterback. He's
I
not a good
guess.
starter.
You guess?
I guess. I mean,
he's
he can hold a good clip. He holds a mean clipboard.
He's a good backup.
I feel like the Saints
But
should just.
I
stick
think
with him.
Teddy
Might as well.
Bridgewater has potential. He did have a broken leg. He's had some misfortune, but
It was non-contact.
he was about to be the Viking starter. He was going to be their star, and they had the talent around him to be able to build off of him. He has a big arm. Bridgewater has a better cannon than Breeze.
Oh yeah, Breeze is older and he has shoulder problems.
Breeze is a more
He can get
accurate
that.
passer. He'll beat you.
sure.
Breeze will beat you in the flats and will beat you with Michael Thomas, and there's
That's all
nothing you
need
can
him.
do about it.
That's what
Yes.
you need.
Well, and they have a good running game with Latavius Murray and Kamara. I mean, they're a dynamic two-way team. But if you can get a speedy receiver to complement him,
Brandon Cooks, something like that.
a Brandon Cooks caliber, a Mecole Hardman caliber receiver, Bridgewater can be the quarterback of the future. And
Yeah.
if you get one more piece, that offensive line's been shaky, get one more piece in that line, Bridgewater can be the quarterback of that future. Do I think he will? No, I think he'll be a segue guy. You'll try to find a rookie or someone young, try to get a home run pick in a draft or through a trade. I don't think Taysom Hill is the answer. I think Taysom Hill is the most overrated player in the NFL. He's all hype. I mean, he's a good player. He plays hard, and he
He's
can
a
do
great
everything.
Skilled player. Like,
But
he
is way overhyped. I get nauseous.
He really is.
I vomit sometimes the way they talk about him. It's like they. I'm not gonna get inappropriate,
I know
but
more than you.
but yeah, that'll answer our questions for the day. If y'all have any more questions, feel free to DM us on Instagram at Groveside Chats or DM us on Twitter at ChatsGroveside. Follow us, check us out. We're gonna talk some entertainment. Christian, the Joker's coming out this week. How excited are you? Is it this week or next week?
It's October
Thursday.
4th.
Oh shoot, Thursday.
Thursday.
Let's get
Yeah.
let's get tickets. When do y'all want to see it?
Thursday.
I
Friday.
My boy Joaquin Phoenix.
I can't go Friday.
I'm
We're going to the
strong.
fair Friday. You want to come to the fair with me on Friday?
don't know,
Friday
man.
night.
Just come meet up with me. Eat dinner with me.
Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night. Let's get wristbands. Go to the fair. Ride
Riding
rides.
those rides.
Yeah, I'm
I
riding rides.
don't ride a ride.
You don't have to ride rides. We can eat chicken
I
on a
get
stick.
All right,
fat.
Starts
and I
with
go
3,000.
Let's get fat. I'm gonna ride rides though.
We'll play some hoops.
I might not ride
How do
rides.
you
I might
not
just walk-
ride rides? Go to
Yeah,
the
you're
fair.
like in the
Well,
motion. I get
we're not
motion
12
sick.
like you.
we're too
Thomas.
old to ride rides.
No, I like riding rides. You can come with me
Nah.
and ride rides. I told John to come up.
I get two motion.
But let's go to the
sickness
fair.
for
But we're
I'll ride
hey,
Disney World
hey,
rides. Or
next
like
week,
Six
if y'all
Flags,
are you
but
doing
I'm not
anything
riding
Sunday
that.
night next week? Sunday evening? It won't have to be night, evening.
that. I don't know.
Because Saturday's the Vandy
Fall
game.
break for MC is next Monday.
So you can be up late.
Yes.
So Sunday night, let's all go see. If you're not, you're probably gonna be gone. But if you're
Yeah.
here, come see it with us. We'll get a crew together because
Oh, do you have
Thomas is
fall
gonna.
break
We
too?
got some other
Yeah.
guys, so we can do it. We're gonna do a live stream. Here's what we're gonna do. Next Sunday, we're all gonna go see the Joker. I'll buy tickets. I'll buy tickets tonight.
No, that's cool. We can get our own.
Well, y'all can pay me back. I'm gonna buy tickets so we can all get seats together. So we can all sit together at some point. We'll figure it out. But we're gonna do a live stream of us before the Joker. We're gonna talk about it, and we'll do a live stream after, and we'll recap it after we do
Well-
roadside chats for the day, if we can. We need to do this.
I'll also be live streaming the movie. So if
Yeah.
you don't want to pay for a ticket, then
Legally.
Venmo Thomas $2,
Oh,
and
man.
you can make popcorn at home for free and have all you can drink Cokes for free, or you can have the other kind of Coke if that's your kind of thing. That's not my
You might
business.
hear,
The DEA
laughing.
is with us right now, so they're examining your proxy. So if you guys get up to anything nefarious, we are the snitches. Sorry, we're Leo Lewis.
He really
Uh,
is videoing this. We will definitely take
what-
part. Just pay
What I
him.
do know about this Joker movie,
It's gonna be amazing.
that, and it's not like based on any of the comics. It's like its own story.
Okay, that's cool.
And it's going to be like
I like the
very
red. I
disturbing.
like the red hood
Yeah.
Joker.
Oh,
I'm done with my coffee. I like the red hood Joker origin the best. If you watch Batman: The Killing Joke, have you seen that?
that's good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yes.
That's my
Yes.
favorite Joker origin. Have you seen The Killing Joke?
The ending
It's,
was-
it's animated.
The ending
It came
was
out 2 years ago.
stupid.
Yeah, the
but
ending was. I liked it. It was weird because it was anticlimactic. I liked it because they just start laughing together.
Yeah.
But Batman was kind of at his rope with the Joker. It was cool. It's a good. If y'all haven't seen The Killing Joke, I recommend it. That's gonna be my entertainment for the day. The Killing Joke. I recommend that. I'm gonna do the Ben Shapiro things I like and things I hate. Things I hate. 90 Day Fiance. My grandma watches that junk. I don't know how she watches it. My grandma doesn't listen to the show. Thank God. But
Moving on.
I love you, Grandma, but that show's awful. Things I like is The Killing Joke. I've been watching Breaking Bad. If y'all haven't watched Breaking Bad, it's an amazing show. You should check it out.
The
Unless you're
movie's coming out October 11th.
Also,
Netflix.
I have a suggestion.
Go
for
ahead,
a
Thomas.
Really, really good show. It's called What We Do in the Shadows. It's about like
William Immigration?
no, it's
I'm
about
checking.
vampires. Okay,
Ooh.
and it sounds gay, but it's
Oh, we
it's
can't say that.
It's kind of all right. So it's
He
kind
said
of
it. He said it sounds great. By the way, if y'all misunderstood him, he said it sounds great.
So it's kind of like The Office. Is just like live action,
Dan Walken's coming after
and it's
us.
just these vampires that are roommates, and it's just funny.
Bert and
as,
Ernie.
huh?
Bert and Ernie. I'm joking. Okay, so What We Do in the Shadows. I recommend that.
Like Twilight.
I've been
sounds like.
watching.
Christian, what have you been watching?
Well, first off, Hulu has Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends because I've been. I just
This man's been
that.
watching the regular show.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Love the regular show.
And then I've been watching Rick
It's on
and
Hulu
Morty.
if you
I
haven't.
started
Rick and
watching.
Morty. Is it
Yeah.
good?
Family Guy's
Yeah,
on
it's
Hulu.
pretty good.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
Hulu
I watch
too.
Family. I watch Family Guy
Watch
on
the
Hulu.
regular show. It's a good show.
I watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine a lot. I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine a lot. It's funny. So that's recommendations. We got What We Do in the Shadows, the regular show, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and Breaking Bad. Very different dynamic shows.
Yeah.
Also, I do recommend Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If you like Andy Samberg, if you like The Lonely Island, I do.
Terry
Music.
Crews.
What we've been listening to, boys.
I like the new Ozzy Osbourne and Post Malone song.
Yes.
That thing.
That's
thing's-
Caleb's absolute favorite.
That's a jam right there. That's a
Except-
pop.
Todd Gurley got a touchdown.
Touchdown Tiger. Okay, so it's 21-7 now.
I think so.
Okay, go Rams.
You don't like that
I
song?
don't like Post Malone. I don't like rap music. I like Ozzy Osbourne.
I
though.
love
I
Post Malone.
refuse
He's
to listen.
not. He's not really
He's a
rap.
talent.
I don't like Post Malone style. I refuse to listen to it. I'm sorry. I like classics.
Well,
I've been listening to a lot of Don Henley lately. He was the lead singer, one of the lead singers for Eagles for a while. Their first lead singer was Glenn Frey. Then they added Henley to the mix. So the Eagles, when they started off, like their first like Take It Easy, Hotel California, those songs were sang by Glenn Frey. But like they had other songs like Life in the Fast Lane. Trying to think of another one. One of These Nights. Those were sung by Don Henley. But I'm listening to his solo album. It's amazing. Y'all need to check it out. He's been singing. He sings The Boys of Summer. If you haven't heard that song, it's really good. I'm going to pull it up on Spotify in a minute. Actually, I'm going to pull up another one called Dirty Laundry. It's really good by him. Jonah, what have you been listening to?
Well, some of the 1975. I like what they bring to the table.
I don't.
I
I don't like their politics.
I mean, it's just music, man. I just listen to music based on.
I don't care. I don't really care what the meaning is of the
Yeah,
song.
no, I've been to the Hangout. They have their own views, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You take it how you want to take it, but
I don't think the audio is going to be good.
It's going to be good. It's not going to be good. But if you haven't heard Dirty Laundry by Don Henley, check it out. It's a very good song. He's got
That's a
a
good
song.
song.
Yeah, it's a very good song. Boys of Summer is also a very good song, too. That song gets me in my feels. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for today. Well, you said you like Post Malone, so that's going to wrap it up for
Well-
today's show. Anything else you got to say, Christian?
I haven't really been listening to that much music because I've been studying my
True, I have to
brains
ask your
out.
music.
I've been
You're studying, listen to classical music.
yeah, it does
Listen to I like
So
listening
I've
to
been doing like Quizlets and all that stuff.
Well, when I study and when I write
Studying
papers and
is-
read, so I actually did a case study on this. I'll talk about this.
Okay.
I did my own hypothesis that I would perform at a better, quicker rate if I listened to classical music than if I didn't listen to anything when I typed a paper. So I wrote 2 papers, and they were different papers. It wasn't like I wrote the same exact thing, so I knew what I was writing. But they were the same length, right? 2 1,000-word papers. They weren't big papers. One when I was listening to nothing, it took me an hour. And one where I was listening to classical music, it took me 35 minutes. So I was listening to Four Seasons by Vivaldi, and it gave me like a 25-minute boost where I was just concentrating and typing really quickly. I wasn't taking any mental breaks. I wasn't stopping and not listening. I wasn't doing other things. Like I was strictly focused on it. So if you guys wanting to study or wanting to get into reading or like listen to classical music while you're reading too, If you want to read, I recommend the Bible. That's a very good book to read. I mean, I think we would all recommend that. I've actually been reading the Bible lately. I've been reading the Acts. Acts of the early church. I like what Luke and Paul started doing. Well, Paul was introduced later on in Acts. You had the conversions of Saul. I was reading about this earlier today, and I started kind of getting tears in my eyes where Saul was on the road to Damascus, and he was persecuting Christians. He had killed thousands of them, or been responsible for the death of thousands of them at the time, and he became blinded on the road to Damascus, and he fell down. He couldn't move, and God said, Saul, why do you persecute me? And then he was sent to someone else's house to be there for a few days, and then God opened his eyes and said, Paul, your name is Paul now. You're not Saul anymore. I'm not holding your transgressions against you anymore. Go be a disciple for my name, and I'm going to show the world how much you have to suffer for my name, because God's people were suffering for Paul's actions. So Paul went on the road, and then he was a prisoner for most of his life after that, and he wrote most of the New Testament, and he wrote most of it while he was in prison, like Romans he wrote in prison. And he was talking about how the joy, even while he was chained to a Roman officer, they wrote about the joy he had in Christ. So if y'all have if I have any recommendations for y'all advice-wise, it's just to take joy and pride in what you do, and especially if you're a believer, like we all are believers, to acknowledge that God really gives you an opportunity to be joyful and to be an example each and every day. I know we've said some kind of colorful things on the show today, but we're goofy and we joke around, but God is really good to us, and don't take that for granted. He's blessed us in many ways, and I would like to encourage y'all to be firm in your faith, to be an example, and just smile and have a great day. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank y'all so much for tuning in when y'all do tune in. We'll have the links posted on all of our social media. Spread the word, and if you want to be a guest on the show, reach out to us. We'd love to have you on. Thank you so much.
Howdy, Tony.
Howdy, toddy.